Okay guys, good evening and welcome to the final rounds of the Decals Lab Porsche Cayman Cup. I'm your host for this evening as per usual on a Friday, and that is the one and only Hoppers. How are we doing guys? Good evening, good afternoon or good morning depending on where you are watching the stream. So guys, we have the final rounds of Decals Lab Porsche Caymans here at Dragon Trails Gardens. It is going to be quite interesting to see what these guys are going to do this evening within obviously the three races of the Decals Lab. But we have got, as I can imagine and I can reassure you guys, this is obviously the final round of the championship, as Dan Burley has put good luck everyone in the chat. Hello mates, I hope to see you on track very shortly mate. So, as I say, I'm going to go through the points and also go through, as Jerry gets it a bit crossed up, heading up towards the gooseneck, as it's going to be known. I don't know what is going on, but I believe at the moment he's struggling like mad. I'm not too sure what's going on, but we'll see what's going on. But he's just into the gooseneck, which is going to be very interesting. I believe it's the gooseneck, or is the gooseneck further around? I can't remember which one it would be. But yes, it's going to be interesting. There's no corner names here, so we're going to make them up as we go on. But it is, as I say, it's the final round of the Eldar Sim Decals Lab Porsche Caymans, and we are live and exclusive on the Eldar Sim YouTube channel. So I will go through the points and I will go through what I think is going to happen, and we will check, as per usual, who is here and who isn't, as most of the time. But I believe, just bear with, just catching up on the stream. So yeah, we will catch up going into the point situation, and we'll see who's here. And we will see what goes on within this evening's final round of the championship. It is looking very exciting. The championship has already been decided, and you know, it has been since day one at Monza. It's been very exciting. So we will go through the point any moment now, and then we will get to see who is going to be attending the race meeting this evening. And at the moment the weather over in Croatia looks like it's going to be a scorcher for these Porsche Caymans. It will be a scorcher in the cockpits. The guys will be potentially sweating profusely as they enter the Dragon Trails Garden Circuit. It is quite technical in some places. I believe where Mark Palmer is heading is what I have known it as the gooseneck. I don't know why I've called it the gooseneck. I just think it suits the corner very spectacular. Yes, it is, because it is the one with the sausage curb. So in first place as championship leader, James Stephen, or should I say championship winner of the Decals Lab Porsche Cayman. So congratulations to James. He actually finished the season on 268. No, he didn't. 86 rather. He will be, depending on how things go this evening, he will be champion. But he's got his closest nemesis, Gareth Morris, 13 points behind. It will be exciting. So Gareth is on 273. Then you have Craig Thomas, that is the underdog, should I say, for recent times and recent virtual of the racing. He's on 218 within points, but he's not going to be in championship contention to win the championship because he is 68 points behind. Then you have Ben Smith, aka Bassox, the batsman as I like to call him. He's on 172, which surprisingly, with the drop scores that have been taken into account, he's managed to work his way up into 4th place in the standing. So he's 172, but he's 114 points behind. So unfortunately, championship for Ben is out of the equation. Then you got 5th place is none other than Jerry Dobbin, who currently is setting the benchmark in testing. he's on 159. So yes, Jerry is also out of championship contention. Then you have Ismail Nameri, aka GR3. He's also on 159. So both Jerry and Ismail are tied for 5th place at the moment. Then you have Dan Bailey, who's just I believe he's just entered the lobby. Yes, he has. He's on 143, so he's 143 points behind. Then you have Love Mecca, the American, going to be on unfamiliar terms. He's on 141 points. Then you'll have Mark Palmer, who is currently 2nd in testing times. He's on 131, so he's 9th place in the table. Then you have obviously Alexandru, the Romanian, on 115. Then you have Jay Baxter. I believe Jay Baxter may make a return, but it all depends on how he feels, because of last week he got tested positive for COVID-19, which is a bit very unfortunate, and we wish him all the best. You've got Mark McCabe. Unfortunately, Mark McCabe has no longer been part of the series since after Laguna Seca. So Jay Baxter is on 106. Mark McCabe is on 100 and... no, he's not. 88 or 98 rather. Getting a bit crossed up as people are getting it wrong going out of that chicane there. I don't know whether they're clipping the grass or what. But Mark McCabe is on 98. And he's not obviously returned to the championship. Then you've got Max Robertson on 81 points, so I believe Max is now looking for a good showing to try and end the season. He's actually on 81 points, so he's quite a bit behind where he should be getting into. Obviously he's 13th in table, but fair play. Chris Craigie, unfortunately Chris Craigie has family commitments. He's on 54. Then you have Chris Richardson. Unfortunately personal issues have got to Chris Richardson, so he's now on 13 points, so unlucky 13 points. And obviously Darren Gardiner, that had dropped to the Clios after round 1, is now on 3 points, but he's no longer competing in the series due to the fact his work commitments, which is fair enough. And yes, it should be a good night of racing, and we shall see what goes on. We'll just double check what's going on within times and also certain things. So as I say, it is Dragon Trails Garden. That's going to be very exciting. It's not one of the best. We've got James Stephen currently on screen here. The championship actually winner. We'll go on board with him for a moment as he goes into the hairpin here. So he's heading up towards the gooseneck. So the gooseneck is the chicane as he comes up into basically where he's heading now, and as he's actually headed into the gooseneck. You've got to be careful heading into the gooseneck because it is a sausage curve, so he's heading up into what would be a sweeping right hand bend, so we're going to call that Pirelli because of the Pirelli advertising, which Pirelli actually completes the lap. So you've got James Stephen heading into potentially the double right-hander here, which is going to be very interesting. The double right-hander, we'll call it double R for short. So yes, it's going to be interesting. And it will be also a protagonist. For you've got the left hand bend, which is now known as BP, so we'll call it BP, shall we? And it is heading uphill into some kind of technical. It's a kind of technical into that chicane. It's left right, and it's just a bit of a blast from right to left. So James Stephen at the moment setting bench time. From what he was saying before, he's not really done much testing here, but you know, it'll be interesting as he goes into Hairpin Bend. It will call Seaside Terraced, because obviously it's going to be very interesting. So we'll see what happens as James heads up towards the gooseneck. It's called the gooseneck because it's obviously sausage curb, but it's kind of like a gooseneck. as he clips the sausage curb there, so we just perfectly timed it. So it's going to be very interesting this evening, and if you like what you see with the Decals Lab Porsche Caymans with me, Hoppers, doing the commentary, be sure to check out the Shell Lorman Motorsports British Touring Cars that are taking place at Brands Hatch with the host with the most, Malcolm Argyle, in the comms box this evening. And I believe the Hoppers Motorsport Vlogs Clio Cup was won last week by Panos, so you know, congratulations to him. It is going to be spectacular night of racing, and also we've got ourselves doing the commentary for the Porsche Caymans. And yes, the Porsche Caymans will be back as of next season, and it will be interesting to see what happens, as James Stephen is just currently having a leisurely drive. He says he's got nothing to worry about, he's got no sweat, but I reassure you, James Stephen and of course Gareth Morris, as Darren Baldwin goes, morning, well it's not morning mate, it's evening, but I know it's fine, you probably had a long day mate, to be fair, and I don't blame you. But yes, James Stephen is not going to be he says he's not going to be sweating because he's already won the championship, but believe you me, I think he might sweat because he's got his arch nemesis Gareth Morris chasing him down. It all depends on, obviously James is sort of qualifying, you know, as he clips the curb into the gooseneck, but hopefully it should be a good night of racing, as I say. But I believe Gareth is going to be battling and producing as James thunders out of Pirelli there. So it's going to be very interesting to see. We're going to have a bit of time to see what happens. We are due to start the first qualifying session, or should I say the last ever qualifying session of the season, at 10 to 8 UK time, and we will have I believe it's 3 9-lap races, so we will see what happens. James needs to realise that he's going to be yeah mate, what's up with the Lambo? I'm interested. What does it look like? A boat? Dude, bear with, I'll send you a picture. Bear with, guys. Just bear with me 1 second. So yeah, as I was saying, basically James says he won't be sweating as much because he claims he's already signed up the title. Well, guess what? He will be sweating because his nemesis Gareth will be there. But it'll all depend on the last qualifying session of the season. So the first race of the last round of the season will be a grid start from obviously qualifying, with the fastest to start on pole position. Race 2 will be a rolling start with the full grid reversed. It will be very interesting to see what happens. So whoever finishes last will be in pole position for race 2, which will be a rolling start, so it'll be a full grid reverse, and then you will have the last race of the season, the final rounds the final round of the championship as James Stephen hops over at the gooseneck. He will be a standing start, and it will be the result of race number 2. So yes, it will be whoever wins race 2 will be starting on pole position. So James is currently fired it out of Pirelli, chasing down or trying to get a toe off Max Robertson. As James actually goes a 138.9, but then Jerry Smiles is just beat him. So Jerry is just beating with 138.8. This is going to be exciting. I'll tell you this, the circuit is going to be one of the most exciting things within obviously the Porsche Cayman history. We are still waiting for a triple winner of the races, as well as technically. Just bear with. So yeah, we're still waiting for a triple winner of the races in the Porsche Caymans, but you know, anything can happen here. So we'll go through who's here, and we'll see how many drivers are going to be essentially pushing the way forward. So obviously we've got Jerry Smiles, aka Jerry Dobbin. He's currently currently fastest in practice, and then you will have you know, then you will have James Stephen. I believe there's another coming. Oh, Darren, I don't blame you, mate. I'd love to. Hey, dude, I'd love to see you. I'd love to see you basically. I don't know what's going on at the last corner, because some people fired it off at the last corner. I don't know what is exactly. I don't know exactly what's gone on, but I believe there's been a bit of issues into Pirelli there, as Alexandru gets it wrong. I'd love you to come back and win all 3 races, mate, to be fair. It'd be nice. I'd let you as well, but it's not down to me. James Stevens kind of, as you know what James is like. Best of luck, mate. Have fun. Hope it goes well, you know. But yeah, it's going to be very exciting, as James Stephen, I believe, had a bit of issue with Max Robertson, which it is going to be one of them where if you're going to be on the limit around here, as you can tell, it is going to be on the limit for these guys. But it'll be interesting. As I say, we've not had a triple winner in the Porsche Caymans this season, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So hopefully it is going to be spectacular, and yeah, so if you like what you see here, guys, be sure to check out obviously the Eldar Sim Michelle Lorman backed British Touring Cars at Brands Hatch. So it will be very amazing to see. But hopefully it should be very exciting. Oh, will do, mate. I'll explain that in a bit, but nice one. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, thank you. It means a lot, mate. You know, like I say, guys, obviously Darren wishes everyone all the best, and you know, and a top job for doing the commentary. You know, it does take some time, and obviously commitments do, you know, it's one of them, and it's brilliant, but you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next season. It's going to be either one of them, or it's going to be interesting. And yes, thank you to each and every one of you that has taken part within the Eldar Sim. I'm just gonna double check something, because I believe the comments are behind, so just give me 1 second. It's just repeated itself. don't worry about it, mate. It's just repeated itself. But yeah, so as I say, if it wasn't for the guys during the season, I'm just going to make sure, you know, that certain people, as Ben Smith has just joined. He just likes to rub it in that obviously Jerry won the minis. So yes, but it is going to be interesting as James Stephen thunders his way up towards the gooseneck. So it's going to be very interesting. He's not clipped the sausage curb at the gooseneck, and he's going to be on his way to Pirelli. I believe the guys are having a bit of issues. I'm not too sure whether it's issues on track, but you know, at the end of the day, it's not going to be any harm because it's just practice. But hopefully, just bear with. I'll just do a bit more talking in a moment. So yeah, I'm just going to be seeing what happens. Just need to know what's happening, but yeah, it's going to be fantastic. James Stephen topping the times now in practice, but we should be in for a cracker of an evening. As I say, Ben Smith, aka Bassox, is here. It's going to be very exciting. I'm going to see how many, excuse me, technically how many races we do have. We do have 10, but that is not a problem. But yes, it will be interesting. But we do have potentially some exciting times ahead. We obviously do have Season 2 of the Hoppers Motorsport Vlogs Clio Cup. That will be happening, resuming on the 5th of February, and also with the Decals Lab Porsche Caymans, we will be back on the 5th of February, as well as the Shell 1 British Touring Cars. So it's going to give the guys kind of like a 2-week break, so we can sort out who goes where in the leagues, as Dan Bailey gets it crossed up going out towards, I believe he's fired it off going into the goose. He's not at the gooseneck yet, but he's still got his left-hand indicator on. The guys are doing these left-handed indicators like it's a distraction, but I don't know. But I'm sure he'll be aware very shortly. But as I say, guys, it will be very interesting to see within each time we have racing. So yes, as Dan fires it into the gooseneck, clips the sausage curb, and then steams towards obviously Pirelli. Excuse me. So as I say, we've got qualifying around 10 to 8 UK time, and hopefully, I believe we're just waiting for Love Mecca, okay, Love Frequency, to enter the room. So far in practice, it will be, so far in practice, James Stephen, followed by Jerry, followed by Mark, and then obviously Gareth. Then you got Dan Bailey, Ben Smith, then Max Robertson, doing very well so far, so good. You got Alexandru, then you got Ismail, and obviously Craig. But we will see if Love Frequency will make it into the lobby, so it will be interesting. So yeah, I'm going to let you enjoy the sights and sounds of the Porsche Caymans for a little while, and then I will come back and then talk a bit more, and then we'll gear up to the last qualifying session of the season. What, you know, it only seems like yesterday, as I was saying this morning, that we visited Monza. So we visited some really iconic tracks this season, and next season will be, as James Stephen clips the curb at the gooseneck, which is kind of got it at the wrong angle. I believe he struggled then. That was quite interesting as he snipped the curb into the gooseneck, as you got Jerry Smiles and of course Gareth Morris. So you got Jerry versus Gareth in practice, but fired it out of Pirelli, and it will be interesting. So as I said, we visited iconic circuits at obviously in the championship this season, and also we are visiting some pretty decent circuits as of next season, so it will be very interesting to see what happens. Also coming up on a Tuesday night, there will be myself, Hoppers, racing in the Peugeot 208 GTI Cup, which will be starting in a week's time. So that will be very interesting to see how well I do, because I will be back in the driving seat. And also we will have Darren Baldwin, aka ESR Idol 4, doing the commentary for that league. Hopefully we get Darren involved with the comms for that. But as I say, we visited Spa, we visited Monza, we visited Brands Hatch, we visited Red Bull Ring, and we also visited Laguna Seca, and of course just last week we visited Interlagos, and we are now here at Dragon Trails Gardens on the reverse circuit in Croatia. It is, oh, and we visited the Nürburgring. So yes, we visited some quite iconic circuits. I believe it is going to be very interesting, and it is going to be one of them. And technically, we will see with the guys with what will happen. I'm just going to check that Love Mecca is going to be racing, and we shall see. Bear with. So yeah, as I was saying, so yeah, we visited some iconic circuits, and we are going to be visiting some quite amazing circuits next season as well. So it will be interesting to see. So if you like what you see here, guys, please like and subscribe to the Eldar Sim YouTube channel. I'm hopefully I've got to laugh because I do feel sorry for James Stephen, but I don't know what he's technically doing, but he says he's currently, can he get a shout out because he's currently watching from upstairs in the upstairs toilet. Well, it's on stream, mate, so I'll give you a shout out, yes. But yeah, I don't think that's really necessary. We don't want to know where championship winner is, do we? But see, this is what I like with these guys. The guys give me a whole lot of respect, and they're very respectful to one and each other. But you know, it's alright, mate. I'm glad you wanted that. But as I'm going to say, as Max Robertson gets it wrong out of the gooseneck. So it's going to be basically going to be really interesting this evening. I do hope the guys don't make me lose my voice again, like they did at Interlagos last week. Oh, it's just, I can't believe my voice actually technically went. You know, I felt really, you know, this race was amazing, and yes, it does mean there is a lot of stuff going on, but but obviously James Stephen, as I'm going to say, championship leader or championship victor, depending on whatever happens between him and Gareth this evening. I believe Dan Burley, yeah, he's still got his left-handed indicator on, but hopefully it will be turned off for qualifying. But we will see. I'm just hoping that we get low frequency into the lobby. I believe I've not heard anything to say he's not, but hopefully he should be racing this evening. It will be spectacular. And also, we do, as I say, we do have the Shell Lawman Motorsport British Touring Cars at Brands Hatch with the host with the most, Malcolm Argyle, the one and only Malcolm Argyle. He is going to be in the comments box for this evening's final rounds of the British Touring Cars. I believe if Will finishes 5th in race 1, he will be crowned champion of the British Touring Cars. So we shall see what happens. But excuse me, as we've got a few James Stephen sitting in pit lane. He's keeping his pit crew waiting. I believe it'll take him some time to undo the seatbelt and get ready for getting back into his car. But it should be interesting, as you know, it's so far so good with this season. This season's actually, even though there's been bits and bats with driving and standards and whatnot, but it's been an absolute pleasure being part of the commentary team, and for each of the guys for potentially racing. Thank you so much for providing great entertainment, and also with my voice potentially going a few times, because you know it has been one of them. So we'll see what happens, and I will catch you guys in a moment or two. I'm just gonna quickly grab a drink, and then we'll get back to some more qualifying, well, towards qualifying, and we will get ready for the last qualifying session of the evening. It is now 25 to 8, so we are fast approaching up to qualifying, and we'll see what happens. Next season will be interesting to see how well these guys will go, depending on where they go, whether they go into British Touring Cars, or they go into the Clios, or they stay with us in the Porsche Caymans. It'll be interesting to see who else we get joining the grid, and hopefully next year, as Mark Palmer fires it into the gooseneck, clips the curb there. But it will be interesting. The grid next season will be a colourful grid, so it will be spectacular. So I'll leave you in the hands of viewing the Porsche Caymans around this Dragon Trails Garden circuit for a little moment or two, and then we'll gear up for the final round qualifying session of this season. Right, sorry about that, guys. Just having a bit of a break there. So, I believe Mecca is not going to be making it tonight. He's stuck at work. Bless him. I believe real life will come first, but absolute a shame to miss Love Mecca for the final rounds of the Porsche Cayman Championship. We'll hope to see him back next season because he is a force to be reckoned for, as so is much as everyone on the grid. And it will be interesting, I believe. That will now bring us just to 10 races this evening, which, okay, fair enough, isn't really a major issue because, you know, it's one of them. But I do feel sorry for Mecca. He's missing this evening. So when you watch the stream, mate, Peter, hopefully everything is okay as well. But we've got coming up to 10 minutes before qualifying, and 10 minutes will be quite a long time around here. 10 minutes for qualifying, as per usual for the Porsche Caymans. It will be interesting, but we shall see what happens. But it is going to be interesting. We've got 10 minutes until qualifying, and it will be a very interesting qualifying session. It is the final one of the season, and it will be interesting to see what these guys can do. I can't believe what we've seen so far this evening, or this season should I say. It has been one of the best, and it is also been frantic on and off track. There has been battles saying James Stevens saying he's going to be, excuse me, he's going to be a force to reckon for, and he's been trying to ask everyone what times they've been doing in testing, and he's not been getting any answers. But that's James for you. But James is one of the best racers. He's actually been really good, and he's actually been, how can I say, he's been one, you know, it's going to be one of them, and I can't wait to see what happens next season. You know, it's going to be a big shame when we lose the big numbers, i.e. James Stevens, and of course Gareth Morris, and of course Craig, up into the British Touring Car League. Excuse me. It's going to be a bit of a shame that we're going to miss them not racing with us next season. But hey ho, never mind, what can you do? But I believe James is going to be giving it his all here this evening at Dragon Trails Gardens. Obviously the fans are out in forced weather at the moment. It is quite hot. It is due to get cloudy for race 2, but I believe race 3 it will be slightly warm again, but we'll see what happens within, obviously, the Eldar Sim Porsche Caymans, as you can tell from what I'm about to say. And I know I've already said this, but it's been an absolute pleasure commentating on these guys. These guys have given it their all. It has been potentially an absolute fabulous season, regardless of what's been going on with things. But, you know, it is going to be spectacular. It is going to be interesting to see what happens at the end of the season. So we have got 9 minutes, make that 8 minutes until the final qualifying round of the season. James Stevens, I'll tell you this, and I'm going to tell you something about James. James has provided, as he gets a 5/10 penalty there, James has realised throughout the season his potential, and he's also amazing driving style. He's been one of them where I don't know how, and he's, as people say, he's out of this planet, he's an alien. But you know, James Stevens has been potentially one of the best. But yes, it has been one of the best. I tell you what, as Max has put, no thank you hoppers, but I believe that's for what I've just said. But you know, it's been outstanding. You know, it's been an absolute pleasure these guys week in, week out give me so much to look forward to. You know, it's been one of the best. I've lost my voice on numerous occasions. I've screamed down the mic because I've lost my way, but you know, during commentary and also trying to do exactly what's going on, so you know, it'd be nice to see some of the guys make a return, and you know, it's nice to have everyone part of the division at the moment. So we have got 7 minutes until qualifying, so let's see what happens in qualifying for the final one of the season and who we're tipping to get pole position. My tip would be between obviously James, Stephen and of course Gareth, but also Jerry is up there as well. But it will be interesting. I'll tell you this, guys, thank you to, as I say, thank you to each and every one of you guys. It's been an absolute awe, it's been an absolute pleasure, and yes, things may feel that things have gone, well, they've gone to plan obviously, but you know, things have gone the way we want it to go. So you know, we've got some quick guys in the division, we've got some guys that are in mid-pack, and you know, it doesn't matter with whatever your race skill is, you know, you can enter championships like this, and it is such amazing. If you like what you see, obviously, as Craig hops the gooseneck, it will be very interesting as he fires it into Pirelli. But if you like what you see here, guys, do like and subscribe to the Eldar Sim YouTube channel. We do have on Sunday, we do have the beautiful Assetto Corsa Competizione. That is the ACC League with yours truly Hoppers doing the commentary for that, and we are at the home of the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, and I believe the weather there is going to be absolutely wet. We do have on Monday the JTCC hosted by Christian Swire, potentially I believe Darren Baldwin is either going to be returning to the commentary box or it will be me. I am not too sure, I will have to double check. But we are at the glorious Monza, so it is the Palace of Speed as it's known. And then on I believe on Thursday, I believe it is the Project Cars League. I am not too sure, but you'll have me doing the commentary. We'll have to see what's going on, and then obviously it will be the 2-week break for the Eldar Sim Porsche Caymans, the Clio Cup and the British Touring Cars. So we'll be on a 2-week break, so there will be potentially some fun races happening, or potentially some serious testing. I believe a week on Tuesday, the Peugeot 208 GTI Cup, which yours truly Hoppers, myself, will be racing. It will be unreal. I've not been behind the wheel of racing on the grid for some time now, and it's going to be interesting to see what I can technically do, because I've not, as I say, I've not been on the grid for some time, and it will be technically interesting to find out with what my driving style is going to be like. I believe the first round of that championship is at Suzuka East, so it will be very interesting to see what goes on. So we have got 3 minutes until qualifying. So I'm just going to put in the chat. If I can spell these. So we've got 3 minutes until qualifying there. So I'm just going to check everything is hunky-dory. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. I believe you guys can hear me. I hope you can. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, you know. It is going to be probably one of the mega evenings, I should say, and it will be potentially good to see what happens. As I say, 3 minutes until qualifying. It will be spectacular. So we do have now, it will now be 2 as the time changes, but it will be interesting. I like to personally thank Nick Sargent, the founder of Eldar in Racing. A huge thank you for giving me a huge opportunity for doing commentary and also hosting the Porsche Caymans. You know, it has been quite a big task on a Friday evening, hosting and also doing commentary, but it has worked and it has been pretty much highly recommended. You know, I highly recommend Eldar in Racing. You know, we are looking for obviously drivers of all racing skills. You do not have to be obviously Lewis Hamilton to race. You can be a new guy, you can be a complete novice, and we will find the right championship for you guys to enter. And if there's any girls that want to race, you are more than welcome, because we are looking for everyone that wants to race. We are getting ready for qualifying any moment, so hopefully the guys are going to be ready, and we shall see what will happen in the final qualifying session of this season. So it will be potentially interesting and it will be very exciting. I can't believe what has happened over the season. You know, we've had Gareth and James swapping wins, we've had Craig get a win, we've had Love Frequency get a win, we've had Ismail get a win, and we've also had some quite sensationally battles up and down the field. I must say it has been one of the best seasons to date, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next season. So we'll see if everyone is ready for qualifying, and if they're not, then we can wait, but we can't wait very long because we have to get qualifying underway. So let's see what happens within, excuse me, but let's see if everyone is going to be ready. I believe, let's do this. So qualifying is going to be underway now, and we'll see what happens in the last qualifying session of the season. It is going to be really exciting. I can't wait for this. So qualifying will now last for 10 minutes around here, as I'll just go quiet for a minute while the cars just funnel out of pit lane. So Dan will be the last one to leave pit lane, which is fair enough. It just avoids unnecessary carnage into turn number 1. I believe everyone is out. Yes, everyone is out, as Ismail gets a bit wide there. But we'll see what happens. Qualifying is now going to be exciting, as the guys are going to be pushing on the limit of the track. Even though it's a bit technical and a bit interesting within qualifying, it will be the first time, and I'll tell you this, it is going to be absolutely mega and exciting. So as I say, Love Frequency unfortunately is missing due to work commitments, which is a big shame. I was looking forward to seeing how well he would do this evening for the final rounds of the championship. So let's see what the guys can do in qualifying. So they're just out on their outlaps. Gareth Morris leads them away, followed by Craig and Ismail, then Jerry, and of course Ben, and of course James Stephen. I believe James Stephen I don't know if he's had an issue, but he had an issue at the Nürburgring in qualifying, where he was chasing and his throttle stuck open, which kind of, I think it startled him, to be fair, but we'll see what happens as we're about to make the first of potentially probably 3 or 4 qualifying laps around here at Dragon's Trails Gardens. So we'll see what happens in qualifying. So you've got the 2 Welsh lads at the moment. Are they going to work together, or are they going to push each other to the limits? We shall see. but I believe everyone is out and about, so yes, it's just going to be interesting. So Dan Bailey just crosses the line to start his first flying lap. You've got Gareth Morris there. If we have a look at the moment, so he's got the Welsh flag on his helmet. What a nice design that is, I must say. So it's going to be interesting. The two Welsh lads going to link up, I believe. Then you've got Craig, so we'll see what Craig's going to do here. Then you have Jerry, followed by Ismail, and of course Ben, and then James Stephen, championship leader, into, obviously, as they fly towards the gooseneck. We've got Mark Palmer there, so Mark's been a force to reckon for. Then you've got Max Robertson, and of course Cordray, and of course Dan Bailey. So we'll see what happens as the times fly into the screen, as Gareth flies into Pirelli onto the start finish line now. So we'll see what he does, what the benchmark will be. So he's done a 1:38.1. You got Craig done 1:39.86. Then you got Jerry did 1:38.7. Ben did a 1:38.705. Ismail did a 1:43.3. James Stephen did a 1:38.0 there, and Mark Palmer did a 1:39.8. So James Stephen, so far the qualifying king, as we're going to call him, is currently there. Max Robertson did a 1:43.2. Codray did a 1:50.7. And I believe Dan Bailey did a 1:40.505. So it's going to be interesting with obviously 5 minutes 44 seconds on the clock, so it will be pretty much spectacular to see. So James Stephen at the moment, we'll see what's going on further back for qualifying. So at the moment, I believe James Stephen, there he is, yes, championship and also pole position. James Stephen, you know, he's been on pole position pretty much near enough every race, but he's had times where his arch nemesis Gareth has been near him as well. So you've got 5 minutes 10 on the clock remaining of the last qualifying session of the season. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as James gets a bit crossed up going into the gooseneck, and he's now going to be firing it into Pirelli. So Pirelli is the long sweeping right hand bend after the gooseneck, so he's into Pirelli now as we speak. So we'll see what goes on. James Stephen is jumping into pit lane. That's going to hamper his lap time. So Gareth, I believe, Craig did 1:39.6, Jerry did 1:38.7, Ismail did 1:38.715. So it's going to be interesting. James Stephen already, I believe, it's, you know, he's gone into pit lane. I don't know whether he's done that because he's, as Max Robertson's done a 1:43.2, so that's going to be interesting. As Dan Bailey's done a 1:40.177, so it's going to be interesting. James Stephen will be on his outlap because he's now gone in pit lane, but Baby James has decided to swap for tyres. But it will be interesting, I tell you that now. So we've got just under 4 minutes of qualifying to go, and who will take the last pole position of the season? It will be very, very close and very exciting. I must admit, it is going to be one of them. It will potentially be kind of, well, it will be exciting, as I say, but you've got three and a half minutes remaining, and boy, this has been great stuff all season, I tell you, as Jerry flicks it into the gooseneck. So it will be spectacular. It is going to be one of them. We'll see what happens. I believe Gareth will be crossing the line any minute, so we'll see what Gareth does. I believe Gareth goes quicker because James Stephen was in pit lane, so Gareth so far does a 1:37.925. So it is going to be interesting. Ben Smith at the moment into third place of qualifying as he fires it into the gooseneck. So he's third fastest at the moment. So that's going to be a good showing for Ben if he can keep that together. But you've also got James Stephen. James Stephen at the moment, where is James? He's just about. So Max Robertson's done a 141.7. So James Stephen starting his flying lap. Ben Smith still in third place at the moment. So we've got 2 minutes 25 on the clock. So Ben Smith at the moment is third fastest. You got Cordray did a 142.890. So that will push him up. I believe that's pushed him into 9th. I'm not too sure. We'll just double check. No, he's still 10th fastest at the moment. But you've got Ben Smith third fastest. You've got James Stevens still in on his from his flying lap after pitting. So we've got a minute, under 2 minutes now. So we'll see what happens. You've got Gareth still in pole position, followed by this man, James Stephen, the championship winner. It all depends if James can win this evening, but it will be spectacular. And it also takes into drop scores as well, but there's a yellow flag into the gooseneck. That means someone's gone wide at the gooseneck. So Craig's gone wide at the gooseneck. He's 6th fastest at the moment, but Ben Smith there. I don't know what's happening with Ben, but he's had his hazard warning lights on, but we'll see what happens. So he's firing it into the gooseneck as Matt Palmer's done at 139.5 there. So Mark is currently 6th fastest, which I believe that's pushed Craig down into 7th now. So Ben Smith firing it out of Pirelli with a minute remaining in the final round of the qualifying session, as Max has just improved his time with 141.3. So we'll see what Ben Smith can do. He's not improved his time there, still third fastest though. But James Stephen at the moment firing it towards about bit of the session. So it will be the last bit of the, I believe it's the last bit of the circuit. Yeah, coming up to the last sector of the circuit. So he's fired it into sunset there. I believe that's what we called it. I'm not too, can't remember what we called it, but he is going to be firing it into, I believe it will be Seaside View. Yes, it's Seaside View hairpin. So we'll be firing it up towards the gooseneck any moment. And we've got 10 seconds remaining, so James has got to get this in the bag, otherwise it will be all or nothing, and Gareth will take pole position for the first race, as qualifying now has ended, as James Stephen hops the curb into the gooseneck and Gareth Morris comes across the line, and he doesn't improve his time there. But James Stephen is on a flyer here going into Pirelli. This is going to be interesting. You've got James Stephen at the moment chasing the pole position. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna? No, he finishes now second. Ben Smith, as we just joined, gets it a bit crossed up, going out of the gooseneck, clips the gravel there, which is probably going to hamper his time now. But at the moment, he's gone a bit wide, but it doesn't really, it's not really phased him, but he still finishes third fastest. So it is Gareth from James, followed by Ben and of course Jerry, and then you've got Ismail and of course Mark Palmer, and then Craig, and then Dan Burley is still on his final lap. I believe he pitted, excuse me. So Dan Burley is going to cross the line. Is he going to improve? I don't think he will, but so Dan Burley 8th, then you got Max Robertson 9th, and then Alexandru in 10th place. So Cordray has gone, but I don't know whether he's going to want us to just bear with me 1 second, guys. Just give me a second. So I'm going to see what happens. I believe I'm just going to double check. So we'll see what happens. So bear with. So I believe I'm going to see if he's coming back, but at the moment the cars are on the grid. I believe I'm going to see if he's going to come back. I'm not too sure, but race 1 gets underway as we speak. So James Stephen fires it into turn number 1, and Gareth Morris is alongside him. And then you've got Jerry Smiles made a good start. I don't know what happened to Ben Smith at the start, but Craig's gone a bit sideways coming out of turn number 1. So the race has already started, so I believe Alexandru will have to miss this race because it's already started. I was just trying to see if he was coming back, but obviously, unfortunately, at the time it will be potentially, now that we're getting underway. James Stevens straight away leads the race, followed by Gareth Morris, and Jerry Smiles is getting swamped by 3 cars. There is, I believe, Ismail and Mark Palmer have a bit of banging door session there, but you've got Jerry Smiles there in 3rd place, followed by Mark Palmer. Then you've got Ben Smith. Don't know what happened to Ben during the start, but he's dropped down into 5th place. Then you've got Ismail there, and then you've got Max Robertson, and of course the real Osman, aka Craig, got it crossed up. Dan Bailey unfortunately has dropped to the back of the field, but we'll see what happens as James Stephen and Gareth and of course Jerry Smiles hop the curbs going into the gooseneck, and Mark Palmer is there alongside Jerry Smiles. But this is going to be very interesting indeed, as you've got the battle for 1st place at the moment between obviously James Stephen and of course Gareth Morris, and Ben Smith is on to the back of Mark Palmer, going out of Pirelli onto lap 2 out of 9. This is going to be fantastic. I cannot believe how well this is going to be turning into. Mark Palmer has a bit of a shove from Ben into turn number 1. I believe that was not intentional, but Mark Palmer there still in 4th place, and Jerry is still in 3rd place at the moment. But then you've got, I believe, you've got Gareth and James still battling. We'll come back to that battle very shortly. But you've got this battle between Mark Palmer, Ben Smith, and of course, I don't know what's going on, but Ben Smith loses 5th place, goes a bit sideways, which ends up dropping him down to 8th place. Mark Palmer there, let's see what happens, see if we can catch it on a replay. No, we can't, because we're a bit far back there, as Mark Palmer now drops excuse me, drops to the back of the field. Dan Bailey is now up into 8th place. Mark Palmer is struggling. You've got Max Robertson in 5th place, but Craig's just taken the place there, and you've got Ben Smith also still in 7th place, trying to chase down Max, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. You've got Ismail there in 4th place, followed by Jerry Smiles and of course Gareth and of course James Stephen, but James Stephen's trying to eke out this advantage going in to the long right-hander at Pirelli to start another lap of the race. You've got Gareth Morris and Jerry Smiles, so these two are going to be battling it out for potentially 2nd place on the podium. It will be very interesting to see. So we're on 3 out of 9 so far. James Stephen is trying to eke out that lap. You've got that advantage. You've got Craig, and of course Ben Smith has got past Max Robertson for 6th place. You've got Dan Bailey and then obviously Mark Palmer, but you still got this battle between Gareth and of course Jerry. Jerry's going to try and make a move. You've got Gareth there into that bend. I believe there was a bit of tyre squeal, but it's not too much there, but we'll see what goes on. Jerry so far is trying to latch onto the back of Gareth for potentially 2nd place at the moment. But James Stevens still out in the lead of this race, so Gareth is still in potentially 2nd place at the moment, trying to chase down title nemesis James Stephen as we go into Seaside View hairpin, heading towards the gooseneck. You've got Ismail and of course Craig, then you've got Max Robertson, Ben Smith, I believe. Bear with 1 second. Bear with 1 second, guys. So I believe as we've got Max Robertson in 6th place and Ben Smith and of course Mark Palmer having a bit of a battle, so this is going to be very interesting. So we'll see what happens with obviously Mark Palmer and of course Ben Smith going into the first corner within each other, the neck and neck so far. We'll see what happens. Mark Palmer closes the door on Ben Smith, so Ben Smith will have a lot of work to do. Dan Bailey at the moment at the back of the field. Hopefully Dan will pick up. He will potentially, if things go well, he will pick up and he will get the pole position for race number 2 this evening, as we have Max Robinson in 6th place, followed by Craig. You got Game Race, aka Ismail at the moment in 4th, but Jerry is still trying to catch on to the back of this group. But what is this? What is this? Gareth Morris, oh my goodness, oh my days. These two are going to be battling now as to go into the gooseneck. We've got a handful of laps left. Jerry Smiles still in there in contention to push on to if these two make a mistake. You've got James versus Gareth. Oh my goodness. This is what we've been paying to see all week. Jerry Smiles gets a bit crossed up. Well, doesn't get crossed up, he just kicks up the dirt. You've got James chasing, being hounded by Gareth Morris going into turn number 1. They're going to be there, but we'll see we'll catch up with that battle very shortly. You've got Dan Bailey and of course Ben Smith now for 7th and 8th. I believe Mark Palmer's struggling at the moment, so he's at the back of the field. But what have we got? We've got a battle on our hands. Oh my goodness. James Stephen, championship leader, under threat from none other than his title nemesis Gareth Morris. These two have been battling all season. This has been spectacular. Gareth so far has the fastest lap of the race with a 138 rather, 0.3 there. This, oh my goodness, this could end in tears. James Stephen knows where to put the car. He's going into Seaside View Hairpin as Gareth makes the move on the inside of Seaside Hairpin. This is going to be fantastic as we head towards the gooseneck. What is going on? James Stephen, be careful. But this is going to be spectacular. James Stephen makes the move into the gooseneck, taps Gareth. Gareth taps him going into the gooseneck, but he regains first place out of the gooseneck, followed by Jerry Smalls. And Ismail has a 2/10 penalty. Craig there in 5th place, followed by Max Robertson, followed by Dan Bailey, and of course Mark Palmer. But at the moment, going out of Pirelli, who's going to have to run to the line as we're about to start lap 6 out of 9. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. Jerry's also lurking in the background. The green machine is lurking in the background as James Stephen comes under yet more pressure from Gareth Morris going out of the first double right-hander, so we're going out to double R. We've got James Stephen chased by Gareth Morris, and Jerry Dobbin is also there. The Cheshire Cat, as I call him, he's about to pounce. But look at this, Gareth Morris chasing down James Stephen. Oh my god, this is cool. I can't believe what we are seeing at the moment, but you've got James Stephen heading down into Seaside View Hairpin. He's obviously there. Jerry Smalls is also there. So the battle is raging. The battle is heating up. It's been heating up all season. Oh my goodness. So you've got James versus Gareth, and Jerry's also there as we go in towards the gooseneck. Oh my goodness. As Jerry tries to make a move there as well. James Stephen gets a bit of a wiggle on. He's having a bit of a dance. He's lost. He's lost first place. He has lost first place. He's now in 3rd place. That is a costly error for James Stephen. I'll see if we can. Oh, it's a bit unfortunate we can't catch it on the replay because we've left it a bit late to catch. But so far, Oh my goodness, you've got this battle now. Jerry Smiles tries to make a move into the double R. Is he going to make the move into double R? Yes, he does, but Gareth fights back. Oh my goodness. Oh my days. Oh, ho, ho. James Stephen gets it crossed up, going out of double R. But you've got Jerry on the inside. On the inside for this turn here. But, oh, Jerry just goes a bit wide there. But this is going to be spectacular. Oh, Jerry loses. Oh, he's got to be careful because James Stephen's also there. Oh, Gareth gets a bit of a lead now. We're on lap 7 out of 9. James Stephen retakes second place, but not for long because Jerry will catch him. We'll come back to that battle very shortly. You've got Ismail in 4th, then you've got Craig in 5th. Got Max Robertson having a good showing in 6th place. You've also got Mark Palmer and of course Dan Bailey for 7th and 8th, and Ben Smith unfortunately at the back of the field. I'm hoping Alexandru makes it back for race 2, but so far Jerry Smiles, this is fantastic. You've got Gareth there going into the gooseneck. So just James Stephen, oh James Stephen, I bet he's now thinking, what have I had to do? He's now got to catch up to Gareth there. You've got Jerry unfortunately in 3rd place. But what a good showing from Jerry so far. You've got Ismail in 4th, you've got Craig in 5th, you've got Max Robertson potentially in 6th place, all being well as he goes into the gooseneck. Got Mark Palmer, Ben Smith, Dan Bailey's now at the tail of the field. I don't know what's been happening. I believe the guys are struggling like mad at the moment, but this is fantastic. This battle, we're on the penultimate lap of race number 1 out of potentially the 3 races this evening. This is fantastic. So it is the penultimate lap. Gareth is still leading from James Stephen. He's a 1.8 ahead of James. James is a 1.8 from Jerry, but Jerry's going to be there. You've also got Ismail chasing down Jerry Dobbin. And then you've also got Craig, and then you've got Max Robertson, Mark Palmer going into double R at the moment, so we'll see what happens with Ben Smith and of course Dan Bailey. But oh my goodness gracious, what have we seen? I can't believe this. This has been fantastic all season. We have got 2 more races after this, 2 more 9-lap races. Oh my goodness. James Stephen there must be kicking himself after that mistake. So we're going into the gooseneck for the penultimate time. James Stephen hops it quite high there, but he's now going to be fighting. He's probably pushing because he's now 1.3 behind. He's now 1.2, should I say, behind Gareth there, going out of Pirelli for the penultimate time. We're about to start the final lap of the first race of the evening here at Track and Trails Gardens. Oh my goodness. James Stephen straight away gets sets the fastest lap on the penultimate lap of the race. You've got James Stephen chasing Gareth down at the moment. This could end in tears. This could actually really end in tears, but we shall see. But this has been spectacular. This is what we've been paying for all season. And I tell you what, I bet James is actually sweating because he's trying to chase him down. Oh my goodness. James is getting and closer and closer. We go up towards the chicane here. So we go to the right, then a left. So we go in towards Seaside View hairpin. This is going to be fantastic. We're heading down towards Seaside View hairpin now. So Gareth Morris at the moment, he must be cacking himself. He's actually 7th, 10th in front of James as we go out Seaside hairpin. But you've got Gareth there still heading down towards the gooseneck. Jerry, then Ismail, then Craig, then Max, then obviously Mark Palmer and Ben Smith. Mark Palmer goes a bit wide, which allows Ben Smith, which, got to feel sorry for Mark, but this is the battle we're going to see. James Stephen yet again hops the curb going into the gooseneck. He's actually right on the tail going into Pirelli, but James gets a wiggle. He gets a wiggle. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it, which has allowed Jerry into second place. Oh my goodness, James, the championship leader, has made 2 mistakes in this race. Oh my goodness, which allows Gareth to take another comfortable victory, followed by Jerry Smiles. And Ismail finishes in 3rd place because James Stephen has dropped down to 4th place. Oh, I do feel sorry for him. You've got Craig there in 5th place. Then you've got Max Robertson coming home in 6th place. That's a good showing. Oh my goodness gracious. But I tell you, Max will be delighted with 6th place at the moment. Oh, what a battle. You've got Ben Smith coming through Pirelli to finish 7th after starting 3rd. Oh, that's a bit of a shame for Ben. Hopefully he can pick it up in race 2. And then you've got Dan Burley coming in 8th place, and then Mark Palmer rounding up the field in 9th. We'll see if Alexandru is coming back into the lobby. But oh my goodness, all I can say is James Stephen, 4th place. Oh my goodness. And I'll tell you this, I cannot believe what I've just seen. But this has been spectacular. I'll tell you now, I'm going to have to get I am going to have to get the race results, and then I will see what is happening. So yes, I will be back in a moment or two. I'm going to share the race results, and we'll go through the race results as well. So I'll be back in a moment or so. Oh my goodness, what have I just seen? What have I just seen, guys? That was, and I can say, that was spectacular. I tell you, that was absolutely crazy. I am going to go through the race results in a moment or two. But oh my goodness. So hopefully I will go through the race results of race 1 in a moment or two. Okay, oh, what can I say? Race 1 was absolutely fantastic. There was battles galore throughout the field, but I'm going to go through the finishing positions of race 1. So in 1st place was none other than Gareth Morris, followed by Jerry and Ismail. So Ismail and Jerry round up the podium. James Stephen, man, 2 mistakes in that race, but slowly and surely was getting onto the back of Gareth, but the 2 mistakes has cost him, which he finished 4th. Then you have Craig in 5th, followed by Max Robertson, which he is ecstatic with 6th place. Then you have Ben Smith in 7th, and of course Dan Bailey in 8th. Then you have Mark Palmer in 9th. So I'll tell you what, fastest lap went to James Stephen on lap number 8 with a 1:38.324. But what's race 2 gonna do? It is going to be spectacular. I cannot believe what I have seen. But I'll tell you this now, but I can't believe that James Stephen, championship leader, he claims he's got the championship sewn up, but we have to see. Oh my goodness. But what have I seen so far? but I believe we're going to be in for another cracker of an evening, well, another race. So I don't know what's happened, but we kind of lost Alexandru during the race, and you know, it's a bit of a shame because, or was it before qualifying? I can't even remember, but it was quite interesting to see what happens within, obviously, the next race of the evening, the penultimate round of the championship. So yes, we will see what happens in the penultimate round of the championship. We will go at we'll potentially go at, so what time are we on now? So go 8. So we'll go up race to 8:27. So hopefully it gives them a bit more time to practice. And yes, it is going to be exciting here in the Croatian mountains and also seaside. And I cannot believe what I've seen. Race 2 is going to be exciting. If race 1 was fantastic and thrilling, so should be the penultimate round of the championship. James Stephen, if I'm reckoning finishing 4th, will probably still lead the championship, but with Gareth taking out a win and potentially getting pole position, it will probably be quite close towards the end as well, and it will be fantastic to see what these guys can do. I believe we're just going to wait and see whether Alexandru will make it back for race 2. I'll just double check. But hopefully it should be another exciting race. It will be potentially. Will be exciting to see what happens within the second race. I believe if he doesn't make it back, we'll have the 9 drivers, and it will be, I believe it is Mark Palmer on pole position. So it will be interesting to see what happens within race 2 of the final round of the Eldar Sim Decals Lab Porsche Caymans, and next season will be even more exciting. But I can't believe how this bear with me one sec. Just need to check. Get him to enter. So we'll see if we are ready. So I believe Alexandru will not be making it. I don't know why, but it's a bit of a shame really, because it would have been good to have him back. So if we were ready to go, guys, we shall see. So let's see what goes on. So it will be interesting. And race 2 will be underway. Jerry's pit crew go to work there just as we're about to start race 2. So the penultimate round of the championship gets underway very shortly. Unfortunately, Max will not be starting from 6th place from where he finished on the grid. He will be now on pole position because of leaving the lobby, but at the moment we have Matt Palmer in 2nd place, then we've got Dan Bailey and Ben Smith, then we've got Craig, followed by James, Ismail, and of course Jerry, and of course Gareth. So let's see what happens in the penultimate round of the championship, and it should be hopefully an amazing race. So we get the countdown and the green lights are about to go on now, and Max Robertson will lead into double R, followed by Matt Palmer and of course Dan Bailey. There's a gaggle of cars behind Ben Smith at the moment, but we shall see as Craig makes the move on. I believe he tries to make the move on Ben Smith, but Ben Smith closes his door. James Stephen in 6th place, followed by Ismail and of course Jerry and of course Gareth. But we shall see. Hopefully we will be interesting with Mark Palmer. You've got Dan Bailey and of course Craig battling away. You've got James Stephen already up into 5th place there. So James is already in 5th place, but he's pushed Craig a bit wide there. There's a yellow flag, I believe the yellow flag. Dan Bailey is in 9th place. Dan's not having the best of luck at the moment. Gareth is in 8th place, followed by Jerry Smalls and of course Craig and of course Ismail and of course James Stephen. Ben Smith has a bit of a penalty, shoves James into the seaside view hairpin. But so far you got Max Robertson in 2nd place, followed by Matt Palmer that actually now leads the race. So we're heading into the gooseneck for the first time with Matt Palmer leading this race, followed by Max Robertson, followed by James Stephen and of course Ben Smith. Then you got Ismail and of course Craig and of course Gareth, followed by, I believe, I'm not too sure what's happened to Dan there, but that's a bit unfortunate for Dan. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. Hope he's back for race 3. You got Max Robertson in 2nd place, Ben Smith at the moment taking his penalty, so you know James Stephen in 3rd place, followed by Ismail and of course Ben Smith, and then obviously Craig and of course Gareth and Jerry tries to make a move into double R there. So we're on that 2 out of 9. Jerry's on the charge. James Stephen is up into 2nd place, just while we were focusing what Jerry was doing. As Max Robertson, unfortunately, he's dropping into 4th place at the moment. But James Stephen in 2nd, followed by Mark Palmer. So Mark Palmer so far leading the race, gets it crossed up. He gets it crossed up. Mark Palmer crashes out. He's dropped ground there. So that's allowed Ben Smith into 3rd place, followed by Craig. Ismail is in 2nd place, so Ismail is on the charge. He's evening Jerry Smalls, okay, Jerry Dobbin in 5th. Then you've got Max Robertson 7th, Mark Palmer 8th. So James Stephen at the moment will be laughing because he is leading the race. Let's hopefully James Stephen does not make any mistakes like he did in race 1. But it will be interesting to see what happens as James Stephen there drops it into the gooseneck, followed by Ismail and Ben Smith. Then you've got Craig and you've got Jerry battling with Gareth, so potentially for 5th and 6th place at the moment. And then you've got Max and of course Mark Palmer. So James Stephen at the moment potentially on a charge from race 1, trying to make amends for race 1. You've got Ismail, of course Ben Smith, followed by Craig and, well, Ben and Craig. And Jerry gets in a bit wide into double R, but Moz is also going to be there, but Jerry's still fighting. This is going to be close. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. As I say, Moz is still battling. With Jerry, you've got Max in 7th, and then Mark Palmer at the tail of the field. At the moment, James Stephen trying to get away from none other than Ismail. And then obviously Ben and Craig are battling. You've got Jerry and Gareth still having this battle, this absolute fantastic battle. But, you know, it's going to be very interesting as we go down towards Seaside View hairpin. At the moment, this is going to be fantastic. I believe, you know, this is going to be interesting to see, as we've got James Stephen still eking out, trying to eke out that advantage from Ismail and of course Ben Smith. But James gets it into the gooseneck, and you've got Ismail trying to drift his way. Ben Smith's on the charge there. You've got Craig as well, and then you've got Jerry and of course Gareth. Jerry gets it crossed up into the gravel going towards Pirelli, which has allowed Gareth into 5th place. Max Robertson in 7th, closely getting now chased by none other than Mark Palmer. So I believe Dan Burley's having a bit of personal issues at the moment, which is a bit of a shame really, because it would have been very nice to see Dan end the season on a high. We're going back to this battle, Ismail and of course James Stephen. James Stephen at the moment on lap 4 out of 9. As Ismail gets it a bit crossed up. Ben Smith there as well. But you've got Craig and of course Moz, so the two Welsh lads. Jerry Smiles there gets it crossed up, but he's corrected it. You've got Max Robertson there, gets crossed up, which has allowed Mark Palmer through. But this is going to be very interesting to see, but hopefully we shall see what goes on within the race itself. But at the moment you've got Craig and of course Ben Smith having a bit of a battle going into Seaside hairpin. So it will be very interesting to see. You've got Ismail trying to chase down James Stephen. But this is going to be interesting as Ismail gets it sideways into the gooseneck. Ben Smith having a bit of a twitch. But yes, this will be exciting. So I'm just going to double check that Dan may be back for race 3. We shall see. You've got Gareth and Craig still battling. You've got Jerry. Oh, Jerry's lost a bit of time there. He's obviously, you know, it's going to be fantastic, but Mark Palmer's going to be closing in on him. But you've got Max Robertson in 8th place, but James Stephen at the moment on lap number 5 out of 9. But it is going to be a bit of a battle, as we've got Ismail trying to chase down James Stephen, so James Stephen will be laughing now. Ben Smith actually on the charge at the moment in 3rd place. Then you've got Craig followed by Gareth, and then of course Jerry and of course Mark Palmer slowly but surely trying to catch on to the back of Jerry. Then you've got Max Robertson at the back of the field, so it is looking likely James Stephen will be laughing now as he goes into Seaside View hairpin, heading towards the gooseneck. But this is going to be fantastic, and Ismail Ben Smith is caught up to the back of Ismail as well as Craig, and Craig's also there. So Ben versus the Banana Mobile yet again. The Banana Mobile versus the Batsman, and followed by Gareth Morris. So Gareth is going to be latching onto the back of his countryman's as Ben Smith tries to make a move on Ismail as we go into the gooseneck. And this is going to be fantastic. There is a battle for potentially 2nd, 3rd, 4th and potentially 5th place at the moment, as James Stephen ekes out that advantage. So Ismail runs wide out of Pirelli, with Ben Smith trying to hold off from Craig. Oh my Gideons, what's going to happen? Going into the double R, as we got Ismail runs a bit wide, which allows Ben Smith into second place, and Ben Smith ekes out that gap. But you've also got this battle, so you still got the battle between Ben, Ismail, Craig and Gareth. Oh, Matt Palmer's now gone. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. I don't know what's going on at the moment, but this seems to be a bit of... Oh, Ismail and Craig have a bit of a ding-dong battle there. So Ismail drops down to potentially 5th place at the moment. So you've got Max Robertson in 7th and Jerry in 6th place. This is going to be... James Stephen must be laughing because he's fired it into the Seaside View hairpin in the lead. He must be laughing now, must be thinking what an idiot I was making them mistakes in race 1. Ben Smith there in 2nd, followed by the Banana Mobile of Craig, and then you've got Gareth and of course Ismail and of course Jerry Smalls and Max Robertson. But there's not really much of battles because they're all spread out a bit. Hopefully we see Mark back for race 3, but it is a bit of a challenge at the moment as we go into Pirelli, and then you've got Ismail trying to chase down of course Gareth, and Jerry is also there going into Pirelli as we speak, and then Max Robertson. So James Stephen at the moment is probably going to make amends for his earlier mistake in race 1, so championship leader is still in 1st place with 2 laps to go, James Stephen, and of course Ben Smith. Then you've got the real Osman being chased. Craig's now been chased by Gareth, which this is going to be a battle, potentially a battle between the 2 Welsh lads. I cannot believe what I am seeing. These 2 are actually best mates. They actually live near each other, so this is going to be fantastic to see what happens. Hopefully, you know, this battle does happen because it is going to be very interesting as Ben Smith up the road as Gareth actually tries to make a move into Seaside View hairpin, but Craig closes the door. So the Banana Mobile versus the grey and orange striped Cayman. But this is going to be interesting. You've got Gareth trying to go one way going into the gooseneck. Oh my goodness. But Craig's still got the door closed, followed by Ismail's also going to be part of this battle. You've got Jerry Smalls and of course Max Robertson, but we'll see what happens. Ben Smith in 2nd, firing it out of Pirelli, and then you've got this battle potentially for 3rd place, so the last place on the podium with potentially 2 with a lap to go. So we are on the penultimate lap already. That's going into double R. Gareth makes the move. Yes, he does. Craig gives Gareth the place. I don't know whether he's just given the place, but Craig's obviously trying to catch up. You've got Ismail lurking in that background, so you got the Max Verstappen wannabe lurking in the background there. But we shall see. You've got Jerry and of course Max Robertson, James Stephen with almost a 3-second gap from Ben Smith. Gareth there, still got Craig chasing him down towards this tight of a bit of a chicane there. But this is going to be exciting. This is going to be one of the best. But you've got obviously Gareth and Craig going into Seaside View hairpin, and then it's obviously on to the gooseneck. This is going to be fantastic. We'll have a look at this battle because at the moment they are almost 3 and a bit from Ben Smith at the moment. But this is going to be fantastic between Gareth and Craig going into the gooseneck. This is fantastic. I cannot believe what we are seeing. But Gareth gets hopped onto the curb, which allows Craig there to be trying to gain a bit of an advantage. But I can't see if Craig's going to make the move, but going out of Pirelli. But this is going to be interesting. On to the final lap we go then. Final lap of the penultimate race of the season. Ben Smith currently still in second place, with Gareth and Craig still battling. So the two Welsh lads are still battling into double R. This is going to be exciting. You've got Ismail and of course Jerry Smalls and Max Robertson in 5th and 6th and 7th. James Stephen must be loving this now, because he's not made any mistakes, he's not put a foot wrong. Ben Smith there getting a bit of a twitch, but he's in second place. You've got still this battle between Craig and Gareth. So Craig's coming into the chicane. Actually, the two Welsh lads actually make a bit of contact, but Craig's actually got into 3rd place there. Oh my goodness, where did that come from? So the Banana Mobile's in 3rd place. But then you've got Gareth fighting back into Seaside View hairpin, but Craig closes the door. But Gareth is also got alongside him, so we're into the gooseneck. Going up towards the gooseneck now. This is going to be fantastic. I cannot believe what I've seen so far. So good. Hopefully Mark makes it back for race 3 rather. But you've got Ismail and Craig battling, as well as Gareth, but they're going into Pirelli for the final time. But we'll try and join that battle as James Stephen goes out of Pirelli, about to cross the line and take another victory in the Porsche Caymans, the Decals Lab Porsche Caymans. So victory goes to James Stephen. This time round Ben Smith finishes 2nd. He will be ecstatic. Who's going to finish 3rd? Oh, it's Gareth just takes it from Craig, followed by Ismail. And then you've got Jerry coming home in 6th. And then Max Robertson. I feel sorry for Max, but you know, he's done really well so far this evening. You know, he's kept it together. A bit of argy-bargy, he gets it a bit onto the dirt going into Pirelli there. But it will be another strong showing from Max. He will potentially crosses the line, but we shall see. I'm going to see if we can. So let's see what happens. I'm going to grab the replay and I will grab the results as well. So give me 1 second, guys. And then I will select a bit of select the times for potentially so it will be potentially the last race of the season. So we will see what happens in the last race of the season. It will be going to be one of the amazing races this evening. I'll go through the race results while we're So in first place for the penultimate round of the championship, the penultimate race of the championship this evening, James Stephen makes amends and takes first place. So he takes another victory, followed by Ben Smith. So Ben Smith is having a good showing this evening. You've got Gareth Morris in 3rd, then you've got Craig, followed by Ismail and Jerry Smalls, and of course Max Robertson. Unfortunately we lost Mark Palmer and of course Dan Bailey. I don't know whether they're coming back, and also we lost Kodroy within so I do not know what's happening, whether everyone else is coming back. But it will be very so we shall see. So, what's going to happen in the final race of the season? This is going to be now or never. I'm hopefully the guys do come back. It is a bit of a shame that we lost Mark Palmer and of course Dan Bailey, but of course Cosray, but I can't, it's out of my control. I don't know what's been going on, but you know, it, as I say, the championship has been fantastic. And I tell you this, I cannot believe what I've seen, but hopefully we should be good to go within the next race. So I'm going to get James to enter the lobby. I do not want him missing out. Excuse me. But it's going to be exciting. I cannot believe what has happened this evening. It's a bit unfortunate that numbers have dropped throughout the evening. It's out of my control. You know, it's a bit disappointing to see, but there's nothing we can do. So hopefully everyone will be ready to go for the final round of the final round of the Decals Lab Porsche Caymans. And we shall see within the time frame to see what happens, but hopefully it will be spectacular for the last race of the season, and we will see what goes on. It has been potentially an up and down season, you know, for many, but also with James Stephen being the best. But yeah, hopefully it should be fantastic. I'm hoping the guys are going to be ready to go, and then we can get the final race of the season up and running. So we'll get going if we can. Just wait and see what happens with what James is about to put. Let's go. So let's see what's going to happen in the final race of the season. And but yeah, let's roll. But this is great. I am looking forward to seeing what happens in the final race of the evening. Unfortunately, there is 7 cars on the grid, but hey ho, what can we do? But we are gearing up for a last amazing race of the season. The Decals Lab Porsche Caymans, the last round of the season gets underway any moment now. James Stevens starts from pole position, followed by Ben Smith. Let's see who gets to jump into the double R corner. And we are set for the last 9 lap races of the season. Who's going to get a good start going into the first corner? I believe Gamer Ace has had a bit of issues. He's starting in 3rd gear at the moment, but I don't know whether he's had a bit of issues if he's got going, but I believe he's had a bit of issues there. I don't know whether he's had issues or what, but so far between Gareth and Ben there going under the bridge into the chicane, but we shall see what is happening. I believe I'm just going to check that he's still stuck on the grid. Just bear with me 1 second. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on, because I don't know whether he's going to be ghosted or not, so just bear with me as we go into the gooseneck for the first time. So you've got Max Robertson in 6th place, James Stephen still eking out this as Gareth sets off in 2nd, Ben Smith in 3rd place, followed by Craig and Jerry, and of course Max Robertson. I'm trying to figure out whether we've got a bit of issues. I don't know whether he wants us to restart or not, but he's stuck on the grid So we're on lap 2 out of 9. So just bear with a minute. Well, he's got going now, so he's a lap behind, which is a bit unfortunate. So he is a lap behind. I don't know what's happened, so he's a lap behind, so it is looking likely you've got James Stephen so far from Gareth, followed by Craig and Ben and Jerry. You've got Max Robertson in 6th place. It'll be another good showing for Max. Unfortunately, Ismail, I don't know whether he's having issues or not, but he's not doing very well at the moment, as James Stephen is eking out that advantage from Gareth Morris and Craig going in towards the gooseneck. This is going to be fantastic. I cannot believe what we've seen. But so far Craig is in 3rd place, followed by Ben Smith and of course so you've got Ben Smith in 4th, followed by Jerry and of course Max Robertson. And I believe Ismail is having a bit, I don't know whether he's having a bit of issues or not, but it seems to me he's having a bit of problems at the moment. Just give me a second, guys. So I'm just trying to figure out what's up, because we've got this battle between James Stephen and of course Gareth, but you've got Craig and Gareth battling, and they've got game race. Unfortunately, I don't know, he's disappeared, so that leaves us with 6 cars in the race at the moment. So you've got Ben Smith and of course Craig battling, and you've also got Jerry versus Max Robertson, but I believe there was a bit of issues. So we'll see what happens. So James Stephen followed by Gareth, followed by Craig. So yeah, so far this, I believe you've got this battle between James, well, there's hardly any battles at the moment, so I do apologise. I've just been trying to sort some issues out, but you know, you've got Gareth from Craig, and then obviously Ben Smith, and of course Jerry, and then you've got Max Robertson. James Stephen still out in the race lead at the moment, and then you've also got Gareth followed by Craig, and then obviously Ben Smith, and of course Jerry, and then you've got Max Robertson. So I believe that, you know, the battle really is between Gareth and Craig and also Ben Smith at the moment. But this is going to be a bit of a tight battle. But you've got Jerry Smallers and of course Max Robertson, so we're on lap 5 out of 9 at the moment. So you've got James Stephen, followed by Gareth, followed by Craig, and then Ben Smith, then Jerry, and of course Max Robertson. It is going to be close within the championship, but we shall see. But at the moment you've got Gareth and Craig battling for second and third, but Craig's a bit 7th, 10th. Well, now make that 6th, 10th, but he's going to be closing up. You've got Ben Smith there in 4th, followed by Jerry and of course Max Robertson. So we're going to be trying to see what happens in the last couple of laps of the last race of the season. And of course Gareth and Craig are still going to be battling, so you've got 2 Welsh lads still battling for the podium. James Stephen is up the road going into, I believe this is, yeah, it's going into some Seaside View hairpin, going into the gooseneck. So I do apologise, I was trying to sort something out, but at the moment Ben Smith is in 4th with Jerry Smiles chasing him down. We've got to try and go on board with Jerry if we can, which we'll try and do if we can. Try and change the view. Yes, we do, but as you can see, Jerry here chasing down Ben Smith, but up the road you can just see that Craig is battling with his compatriot Gareth Morris, but Ben Smith is under a lot of pressure from none other than Jerry Smalls. Well, Ben is jigging about there, but it is going to be really interesting as Jerry flashes the light at Ben, trying to get past him into the double R, which is going to happen if Ben has a bit of a move there. But Max Robertson still in 6th place, but you've got Moz and of course Craig still battling it out. So this is going to be interesting. You've got a battle for 2nd and 3rd. You've got James Stephen up the road with 3 laps to go in the final round of the championship, and then you've also got Ben Smith and of course Jerry still battling. So you've got the 2 Welsh lads battling, and then you've also got Ben and Jerry battling as well. So this is going to be fantastic. Max Robertson will be happy with 6th place, but we shall see. But we shall see what's going on. But you've got Gareth and Craig chasing each other, but James Stephen's got that advantage, still going into the gooseneck for the 6th time. But then obviously Craig hops the gooseneck, but he's going to be chasing down. But Jerry's made the move on to Ben. I believe Ben's dropped down into 5th. Yes, he has, going out of the gooseneck. And then you got Max Robertson trying to chase up to the guys, but you know, so far but we shall see what happens. You've got obviously Craig and Gareth still battling with on the 7th lap. Got James Stephen there in 1st place, so championship winner of the season. And then you got obviously Gareth and Craig there battling for 2nd and 3rd at the moment. So obviously Jerry has now got a bit of a gap from Ben and then Max Robertson, but at the moment the battles have calmed down a bit. But you know, we've lost a few drivers in the last 2 races, which is a bit unfortunate. You've got Gareth still trying to chase down James Stephen, and Craig's also tried to chase down Gareth. Then you've got Jerry in 4th, then Ben Smith 5th, then you've got Max Robertson 6th. This is kind of a bit frustrating because I was hoping more battles. You've got James Stephen going through Seaside View hairpin towards the gooseneck, and then obviously Gareth and Craig, and then obviously Jerry and Ben, and then Max Robertson. But we shall see what happens within the penultimate lap as James goes into the gooseneck. Got a 2.4 second lead over Gareth, but Gareth is slowly but surely going to gain onto James. He's actually lost a bit of ground there after clipping the curb going out of the gooseneck into Pirelli. And you've also got Craig, his compatriot, chasing him down. So this could be Craig battling for 2nd place now. Let's see what happens. Jerry's a bit far behind at the moment, but we're going on to the penultimate lap of the final race of the season with Jerry Smiles there. We'll see what happens into the last bit of the race, but you've got Ben Smith in 5th, followed by Max Robertson. Max Robertson is a bit far back at the moment, but he will be on for a good enough showing. You've got Craig trying to chase down Gareth, and obviously Jerry Smalls and Ben still battling, but James Stephen must be laughing. He must be thinking, well, I've got this title sewn up now, you know, I'm just going to go and get what I can. But Gareth and of course Craig are still battling for 2nd and 3rd, but Gareth has got to be careful because he's got not almost 8 seconds from Craig, but we shall see what happens. About 8 tenths, should I say. But this is going to be fantastic. Gareth is going to be careful. He's wary of Craig, but at the moment Craig is chasing him down as we go towards the gooseneck for the penultimate time of the season, the last race of the season. I can't believe what we've seen, and I cannot believe how well things have gone this season. As I can say, it's going to be fantastic next season. But Gareth and of course Craig still battling, but Gareth wants to catch up to James and get another victory, but James has sneakily managed to get away at the start, which he managed to do. But you've got the real Osman, aka Craig, there trying to chase down his compatriot with the final lap of the race now, the final lap of the final race of the season. It has been absolutely fantastic from day one, but I tell you this, it doesn't feel like it only feels like yesterday when we started racing at Monza. Craig gets a bit crossed up going out with double R, but Jerry Smalls is going to be there. But at the moment Ben Smith in 5th place, followed by Max Robertson in 6th place. James Stephen at the moment must be laughing. He must be thinking, well, title's already been mine, I've sewn it up now. And yes, Gareth Morris is in 2nd place. Craig's just now lost a bit of ground, and then you've got Jerry Smalls trying to chase down these guys, but he's a bit far back at the moment. You've got Ben Smith there in 5th place. Max Robertson in, I believe, yeah, he's still in 6th place at the moment. And then you've got Gareth and Craig going through Sunset, no, not Sunset, Seaside View hairpin. They got Jerry trying to chase onto these guys. Jerry is actually trying to catch up, and obviously Ben Smith and Max Robertson. But James Stephen fires it into the gooseneck for the final time. He must be laughing now. He must be thinking, yes. But all I can say, James Stephen fires it into Pirelli for the final time. He is going to be taking another win and also the championship with him. Congratulations, James. This title will probably mean a lot to him. He narrowly missed out on the title. Gareth comes home in 2nd, Craig comes home in 3rd, and Jerry Smalls, okay, Jerry Dobbin, will come home 4th. Ben Smith will take 5th place. He's having a bit of issues there. He's the bit of connection. Max Robertson, I don't know whether he lost it going out of, I believe it is going to be very close, but I can say next season will be very exciting. Gotta feel sorry for Max though, he's done really well so this evening. I can't believe what I've seen, but we have got to say congratulations to James Stephen for battling until the end to take the championship. Gareth Morris is alongside him. I'll tell you what, guys, thank you for providing me such great entertainment on a Friday. I'll tell you this, I'm looking forward to hearing what you do in the BTCC next season, as well as Craig. Commiserations, Jerry. You know, he's fought long and hard. He's, you know, Ben Smith there as well, and Max Robertson comes to see the evening off with 6th place. But you know, congratulations to James Stephen for another victory and taking out the championship as well. I cannot believe what I've seen. Oh, wow. All I can say is, guys, wow. It is going to be spectacular, and I'll tell you this, next season we have got a cracker coming. I'm just going to quickly get the results saved and quickly get them over and done with, and we'll see what happens. I do apologise for any bits of just trying to sort some out during race 3, but James Stephen takes the victory, followed by Gareth Morris, followed by Craig, and of course Jerry, and of course Ben Smith, and of course Max Robertson. Fastest lap actually went to Jerry in that race with a 1:37.8 on lap number 8. It will be interesting to see what happens. It was an absolutely fantastic epic season finale, and I'm going to say this now, guys, it has been one of the best this season. I tell you this has been very exciting. I tell you what, if it wasn't for everyone taking part, but yes, it's been fantastic. It has been one of the best. But I cannot believe what I have seen. It's going to be unreal, but you know, I can't believe what we've seen. It is going to be one of the best things I've ever seen, as I believe there's a donut. James Stevens doing victory donut, and I'm going to put it on the stream. But yes, James Stevens partying like it's 1999. So I'm going to let James have a bit of a moment for so I'm going to let James have a bit of a moment for his celebration. But all I can say, guys, thank you for a brilliant season and an absolute mega one. I am looking forward to potentially what will happen next season. So I'm going to let the guys have a bit of fun. I'm going to let them all roll out of pit lane, and so bear with me. So we shall see. I'm going to try, I know it's a bit of fun, but I'm going to try and get the guys to get in a line for a group picture. But yeah, and so obviously championship contender James is still but all I can say is thank you guys for an absolute mega season. I will see you guys later on, and hopefully next season is exciting as much as it is. I tell you this, guys, it is going to be fantastic. So thank you yet again to James Stephen for winning out the title, and I've been Hoppers. Until next season, guys, ta-ra, take care.